All right, so I said I was gonna do a video on Brielle. So I just got a projector and it's way easier to cut any kind of patterns with a projector, but if you don't have one, I'm gonna show you how to do it without one, because I obviously have like all my cutouts from before when I didn't have my projector. So for now, I'll turn off my projector so you don't get confused. Okay, so basically, what you're gonna wanna do, like this is 2T size, okay? So I think the most confusing for people is probably like the bodice part. Okay, so here I have, it says front bodice or bodysuit lining, okay? So this is what you're gonna wanna do for the top portion of, let's say a dress. So let's say we're gonna make a dress, and then I have the options here of the halter or the sew-in straps, okay? So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna want to cut along the dotted line, not the solid line. If you're cutting along the solid line for the top part, it's for the bodice. If you're cutting for the solid line, it's because you want to do sleeves or something like that. If you want to do like a halter or a tie-in strap, you do not cut along the straight line, you cut along the dotted line, okay? So again, not the straight line, the dotted line, all right? So that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So again, this is a 2T. I cut a line along the dotted line for the 2T. Then for this bottom part, like you start to get confused because there's, oh, you see like two different sets of lines. These are dotted lines that are more like farther apart. And then these are, or I'm sorry, not farther apart, but they're, you know, they're obviously lower, but that's because they're different sizes. The straight line, if you read here, for the waist cut lines, upper back skirted bodysuit or attached to a skirt. So if you're doing a bodice and you want to attach it to a skirt, or if you want to do a crop top, or if you want to do like a short a top with like a short little frilly type skirt on the bottom of it, then you're going to want to cut along the dotted line. For a crop top, a dress that you're putting a bodice on, obviously the dress has a bodice, you're going to want to cut there. So I just didn't cut it. Like what I did was I cut along the straight line, because if I wanted to do a bodysuit or like a longer top, not a crop top, I just kind of kept it along the straight line there, so that later on, you know, I could use it if I wanted to. And then I just kind of folded against along the line, the dotted line. So again, for you to do the top of a dress, or like a skirted bodysuit, or you're attaching it to a skirt, you're going to cut along the dotted line. It says crop top, okay, for the straight lines. You could do that as a crop top. Some people like to do it along this dotted line, like if they're doing a swimsuit and they just want it to be like, you know, a little shorter in length, they'll cut along the dotted line. That's something that I've done too before. All right, so this is going to be your front. You're going to cut 2 of these, all right, because you're going to want one for the front and one for the main lining. I'm going to show you guys. All right, now this is the back, okay? When you see back bodice or bodysuit lining, this is for the back. This is if you want to do a dress that doesn't have the tie-in straps or the halter, okay? So you just, you know, you wanted to do a top that has the back and front like that. I don't normally use it just because I just kind of prefer the look of like the halter tie-in straps or the sew straps. So I just put that aside. So if you're gonna make the dress like I'm gonna show you, this specific dress or this specific top, you really don't need this part at all, this back bodice part, the one that says back bodice or bodysuit lining. You just put it to the side or don't cut it, okay? What you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want this strap back bodice, okay? This again is for halter tie straps or sew in straps, all right? And so if you read here, it says upper strap back bodysuit or attached to skirt, okay? So again, it's the same situation as the bodice, the front bodice. You're gonna cut against the dotted line because you want the back to match up like that and then have enough room for the straps. Again, I'm gonna show you, so don't get confused, okay? If you're doing that crop top, you're gonna do the straight line, okay? Just like we talked about before, all right? And then all of this, what you're doing is you're folding the fabric, and so here it says the fold, and again, I'm gonna show you all of that, okay? Pay attention to these lines here when you cut this, because this is gonna tell you where the straps should be, all right? So again, we'll fold these, we'll set these to the side. So now you have those two pieces. It's gonna be the front bodice and the strap back bodice. That's the name that you'll read like on the actual instruction part, okay? Then here is the skirt part. So this is for a top, all right? So like I said, I'm gonna do a top, but it's the same kind of concept, all right? So if you were doing a dress and the bodice top, you're going to cut this skirt part, okay? I had it cut before, but I decided to do a top and then I just cut this. So you're gonna cut to do a knee length dress. You're gonna cut the straight line of this skirt part. This says full circle skirt, okay? So this is the part that you're cutting. If you're going to do it for a top, like let's say you wanted to do a swimsuit top with like a little frill skirt thing underneath, or you wanted to do a top and then add some bummies to it, this is what you're gonna do, okay? So if you wanted to do the top part, like I said, you're gonna cut along the dotted line, all right? Not the straight line. The straight line is for a full dress, okay? So we're gonna put that aside. Now this is for our dress. So right now you have all the pieces that you need for the top, all right? Then you need to decide whether you wanna do a halter tie straps or if you wanna do the sew-in. I kind of like the sew-in, so I'm gonna do those today. So I'll put that to the side and put this to the side, okay? So these are our pieces, and now we get to cutting. Okay, so you want to pay attention to the part that stretches and the part that doesn't really stretch that much, okay? Because for your top, all right, it says you want the stretch to go this way, okay? And actually, let's do it this way, this side. Just because it says the fold has to be on this side, so. Sorry, I've been using my projector, so cutting with paper pattern pieces is like kind of not forgotten, but kind kind of been like out of practice with it a little. Okay, so I like to not waste too much fabric. And I have, so I put galvanized steel underneath my mat, and then I got these magnets, and it's freaking awesome because it holds my fabric in place. I love it. It's, if you can do it, do it. See, like, now that won't go anywhere. Usually this like slides off the table. It's horrible. Okay, so let's get our cutter here. And I'm sorry if my head has been in the way a bunch of times. I really apologize for that. Okay. So you're on the fold. So again, you're gonna fold the fabric that way, right? And you're just gonna cut along. I need to change out my blade, but okay, so this is piece number 1. All right, now we need to do 2 of those because that's gonna be like, one is gonna be the inside lining. Now, if you have a fabric that is like custom and you don't want to waste, or not waste, but like, I don't know, you kind of want to save it, then you can do the lining a different fabric, or you know, like a you know, a basic or a matching one or something like that. This one didn't really cost me all that much, so, and this piece is for my daughter, so I like to kind of splurge on her. But all right, and then cut that second piece. Okay, so now you have the top pieces. We're gonna put that aside, and we'll put that aside because now we're done with that part. All right, and we're gonna keep going. Now we're gonna do this back part, okay? Okay, and again, this one says 2 also because you're doing a lining. Oh, so before you go in, I almost let that go before explaining to you, but before you go and like toss that over there, okay, what I like to do is you're gonna look at where this line is. So as you see, like there's a bunch of like little lines there. Okay, I have to go by the orange one because that's the color, the size that I'm doing. All right, so what I like to do, I like to move it just a smidge down, and I just like to do a little cut on the top so that I know where that is, because I need that for where the straps are gonna go. All right, now we do the second piece of it. And lower. Right, so now you have that top part, put the back away. Okay, and now we're gonna do the skirt part, and again on the fold. My daughter is napping, so this is like the perfect time to do this. And my son is in summer camp. Awesome. And I'll have to show you guys my awesome setup in my craft room because I'm so excited. I just redid it all. say craft room because I don't just sew, but all right, so you're gonna put it up to the fold again, and you're gonna cut. Again, this one you're also doing 2. Now this one you don't, you're not gonna do like 2 different patterns like you would with the lining or 2 different fabrics, because you need the 2 parts to basically create the skirt. So see, like this is one part of the skirt and then you need the other part of the skirt. All right, so we're gonna put that aside, or top, whatever it is that you're doing. Okay. I don't want this video to be too long, so I might just do a second video to show you then, like a part 2, to show you then how to actually sew it all together. Okay, so the skirt part is done, and now all we have left are the tie-in straps. Okay, and so again, you're going to look at how the stretch is supposed to go. So the stretch is supposed to go this way, right? So this is the way that we've done the rest of it. So pay attention to that, because you don't want to sew your straps where then they're like super stiff and you can't, you know, I don't know, you can't fit it comfortably. Yeah, I really need a new blade. Okay, so 1. And if you haven't seen my other video on how to sew these straps super easily, I suggest you go watch it, because I think it's pretty awesome. I can't take full credit for it because I found it, someone else, I don't know, posted it somewhere. Oh no, in someone else's YouTube video. Yeah, I saw it in someone else's YouTube video and I was like, oh, that's awesome. Okay, anyhow guys, so that's it. You've got now your 2 straps. Again, these are the sew-ins. All right, you've got your 2 pieces of skirt. Okay, you've got your 2 backs. Go this way because this is where those little lines are, those little cuts are, so you know that that's gonna be the top portion because that's where the straps are gonna go in. All right, and then you have your front. Pretty awesome. Super simple, guys. I know, like, when you look at the instructions, you're like, oh my god, this is so complicated, what the heck? Or like, you just look at the pattern, you're like, I don't understand how many different, there's so many different pieces to this pattern. Like, how do I cut this? Super easy. So this is the video on what you should cut for the Brielle. Again, this is a top, but like the top is gonna go, you know, on it like this, so it'll look something like that, you know, little top with like a little skirt frill thing, and then I'm gonna make a bummy to go with it. But it's literally the same exact thing if you wanted to do a knee length dress, and the same exact thing if you wanted to do the halter ties. So it's just the different pattern that you have to cut, but that's it. All right guys, I'm gonna do a part 2 on how to sew this all together.